It's all pretty similar. Well, Nemesis will. Let's see if we can find any other segments. And here's the template. The template is Nemesis. So what this does is there is a template here called the Nemesis template, and it shows what should be in the particular place. So let's see. It's a buff conduit, and there's an item called TFF Nemesis base. Okay. Perhaps that's worth a look. And there it is, the Nem Station home base. Now what the Nem Station home base is of course the actual Nemesis station itself. Interesting. So maybe it's worth us looking at that. Hey Jerome, how you doing? Let's take a look at that Nem home base. If we can find it. Nem Station. Did I say Horn Base? Home Base. I thought it said Horn Base. I was like, what the hell's that? So this is actually the Nemesis station itself. Move that out of the way for a moment and see what goes on here. So that station is just spawning as is. We can see that it's technically classed as hangar defense, interestingly so. But that's immaterial, I suppose. The reason that it's defined as that is so it can fire and shoot at things. Now this is what they call an entity, so this is what defines a station or a ship or even a planet. And this particular thing, you can see that it's got particular armor types. Here, armor type, capital ship. Its planet upgrade slot is tactical, it's worth 4 slots. That is actually immaterial because it spawns no matter what. It's got a stat count type here. Now what we want to do is we want to go for a standard planet module. And I know what we want to do for the actual module itself, so let's find a good Klingon station. So interestingly, just so you know, Jerome, this particular... oh, God, everything's just disappeared. This particular program, Jerome... Let's just bring my Twitch chat back because I minimized it accidentally. Whoopsie! There we are. This particular program is called Notepad C++. Notepad C++ is incredibly useful, and I would recommend anybody who wants to be modding grab it. But what were we looking for? We were looking for a particular Klingon station because, of course, it's Klingon. The first thing I need to do is I need to open the Klingon shipyard. So let's find that. It should be down here. It should be K_station. Here we go. We've got quite a few here. We've got frigate yard. So let's open the frigate yard up. Now, the only reason I want the frigate yard open, we can close everything else. Close all but this. There we go. Is because I need to see what the mesh is. Now, the mesh is the model itself. You should find that right here. There it is. Mesh name info K_shipyard_frig. Pretty similar. It doesn't have a criteria type. Doesn't need one. But I'll just be holding on to that for a little bit. And we have various other stations here. We've got the K Station Hero Spawner. That's a planet module standard. Now, I think this is what I'm going to be basing one of the stations on. So let's grab it and copy it. We can minimize this briefly and we'll paste it in here. There it is. There's the Hero Spawner. Fantastic stuff. Now, this needs a different name. We're going to be putting 2 new stations in the Nemesis gravity well for this little segment. And what those stations are going to be, there are 2 capturable stations that we're going to be adding into that central Nemesis sector. One of them is going to be, you can call it a comm array if you like. It's technically not a comm array. It's there for spying. So if you manage to capture that, and of course defeat the Nemesis station itself, you're going to have an advantage. So if you are in control of the central area once the Nemesis station is gone, one, you're going to be able to spy on your enemies, work out who the weakest is and who you can attack first. And the other thing is actually, as we've just seen, it's going to be a type of capturable frigate yard which will build the same kind of frigates that you get, or the same kind of drones that you get from the Nemesis station attacking you. The reason that they're so good is because they're very, very powerful. They will heal your own vessels and indeed stations, and generally they will give you a combat advantage if you've captured the station, of course. And that is part of the reason that we're going to be adding these stations as capturables. That music is quite loud. I'm going to turn it down a little bit. I'm sorry. That's a bit better. Is because we want to incentivize people to go for the middle, to try and hold it. Right now, in the Nemesis event, what some players might be tempted to do to each other is quite literally to avoid the issue entirely, is to go for your neighbours first and ignore the Nemesis station. We don't want that to be such a thing. We want the Nemesis station to be gone for, killed, and people to fight over that central section, so we get these really interesting battles where one player has nearly killed the Nemesis station and then two other players turn up, both opposed to each other, fighting the original player, Nemesis station, killing everyone. That's the kind of excitement that we want. So, right, we're going to keep a lot of this as it is. Planet Module Standard is absolutely fine. We do need, however, to change its name. So what we're going to do is we're going to call it Nem _. We've got to follow the naming scheme, of course. And we're going to call it Espionage Station. Are we? Yeah, we'll call it Espionage Station. Yes. I think that's probably all we're going to need to call it. So if we go back to this, is there a particular, or should it be Nem Station? That's the question. We need to make absolutely sure that we're right about this. Yeah, it looks like it should be okay. Yeah, just Nem Station. Well, let's try and keep the naming convention consistent here, shall we? There you go. Nem Station, Espionage Station. That's what this is going to be. So we've renamed the entity. Now we don't want these abilities. These abilities here, these are your hero spawn abilities, because this was originally your hero spawn station. So we don't want it to be able to spawn Kern, we don't want it to be able to spawn Gowron, and we certainly don't want it to be able to spawn Martok. But other than that, it's absolutely fine. I'm happy with the amount of health it has. I'm happy with the mesh it's going to have. I'm happy with the type of explosion it has. I'm happy with the main view icon. The only thing that we might be wise in changing is how it's described, because clearly it's not going to be described directly here. So let's find the little section that goes with that. You can see that we've got a name string and a description string ID. What's a string ID, I hear you ask from the ether. The string ID is names and descriptions, very, very simple as. So let's change these to be something more suitable for us. We know what we're calling the station, so Nem, I'm not going to do it capitalized as the last one was, Nem Station, and this is the Espionage Station. Whoopsie daisy. Apparently I can't do anything right. Station and underscore name. Oops. Name. There we go. Have I spelled espionage right? Yes, I have. No, I haven't. Oh dear. Espionage Station. There we go. So that's going to be the new string for that, so we know it's an espionage station. We're also going to pop that in there. Nem Station, Espionage Station, and we'll change this to desk so we can describe it. Hi Hydroxide, how you doing? Okay, so everything else in this is absolutely fine. I'm quite happy with its armor points, its hull points, etc., which are defined here. Maximum hull points, 35,000. We may need to change that and make it bring that up a little bit, just to make sure it's not too easily capturable. But there we are. Base armor points are good. I think we might move the armor points up to 10. In fact, we will. We're gonna change this to 5,500 because we don't want it to be too easy. There's no resource extraction, hence the reason that it's invalid. I'm good. I'm good. You're watching from your chemistry class. Surely you're not allowed to do that. Surely. Well, I'm happy you're watching. Don't get in trouble. Not on my account. I love you, but don't get in trouble. Okay, so let's save the work that we've done already on this. So we've taken away a lot of abilities. There are some things that we need to put abilities back in. So, in here, somewhere, we've got capturable stations. Now, sadly, I can't remember a lot of the names of them. It's more than likely that they're going to be M. Now, the reason that I call them M is because I think that was what we stood for, multicultural. There are capturable stations, as you know, that are already in Armada 3. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be finding one of those, finding out exactly how we did it, because we can't remember. And we're going to be putting that capturable ability in here. Here we go. So here we go. We have the neutral to mining station. That's a capturable one, and we know it is. Ho ho! G underscore ability underscore station capture. That's what's going to allow the capturing of the espionage station. We're going to put that in ability slot 3 and save. Hull points does not influence capture time under normal circumstances. However, this ability, Jerome, hey Khan, how you doing? This ability, ability station capture, how about we show you what it does? And I think that'll be quite nice to look. Here we go. Here's G ability station capture. And this is how we go through the abilities as well. So abilities themselves are really, really simple. It just calls on a buff. A buff is the doing thing. The ability is the clicking thing, if that makes any sense. So what does it call on? Apply buff to self. So this this ability, if it's attached to a station, as it is to the espionage station here, it applies the buff to self. When does it do it? It always performs it. So that buff is always active. It's a passive buff. Does it beat up Bane? Well, I'm hoping that Bane, I, and anybody else who plays Nemesis in the future is going to try and beat it up. But if we succeed in beating it up before the others, I'll be able to beat up Bane using it. That's the idea. Okay, so where does it go from there? Because we know it's going to be applying a buff to itself, here we go. We've got G buff station capture self. What does that do? Let's take a look. If I can find it. People are going to be screaming at me now because they've already found it. There it is. Here we go. And we'll open this up. So what does this do? You can see here that this applies something with a delay. Apply buff to first spawner, no filter, no range, which means basically there's no reason other than to do it. You must apply this buff to yourself. And it calls on a secondary buff, which may well have conditions. So that's G buff system station damage. And here it is. You can see there's quite a few of these. So let's take a look at station damage. And this is a triggered buff. And there are damage states. You can see that there's a system damage state. So when does this buff trigger? That's pretty standard. Apply a buff to first spawner, and there's no reason for that to be triggered. It's just something that automatically applies to first spawner, no filter, no range. And it applies station damage state. What does this one do? Now it's going to start getting interesting here. Ho ho, there's more stuff in here. Is it right you can't use Titans on the Nemesis station? Technically you can use Titans on the Nemesis station, but you don't want to be the first one with a Titan in there. Oh no, no you don't. The first Titan that goes in there is gonna get wrecked. One shot killed, no problemo, Chiefo, it's dead. If you are part of a task force and you bring your fleet in right after a Titan's been killed, you're probably going to be able to use your Titan for a bit, but not for all that long. I would personally go with 2 capital ships. That's going to be much better for you. So, what does this particular thingamajiggy do? Well, it applies a new buff if the station, which is first spawn and no filter, no range, on a condition. So this has a condition. It will only apply a particular buff to the station if owner has hull less than perk, which means if the owner, which is the station as we know because it's been applied to that, has its hull value of less than a particular percentage. In this case, 30%. And we can see here that it will apply a G buff system station capture. So let's take a look at that. A lot of things happen here. Now it gets really interesting. So if the station has less than a 30% hull, we can see that one of two things happen. One, it will instantly start restoring some of its hull points. Restore hull point perk. It will restore 10% of its hull points at that time. So that's quite interesting. I think we might actually change that a little bit to be higher later on. We won't do it right now. And what effects does this have? There's something called bool modifiers, and these are effects that apply in this case. Oh, Ben showed that, did he? Nice, nice, I like it. Yeah, it will. It will one-shot kill practically anything. So, when your station goes into a capturable state after you've reduced it to less than 30% health, its abilities are disabled, its regeneration's disabled, its weapons are disabled, it can be captured. That's the important one. It can't be damaged anymore, so it can't be destroyed. Fighter launch is disabled. We put that in just in case the particular station has fighters. This one doesn't. And it will change back to not being capturable after 180 seconds. Now, disabling regeneration is probably something we may want to remove, but that's what this ability does, and as we know, it is now correctly on the NEM station. So we've got that. The NEM station itself, the espionage station, it doesn't have any special abilities, but I think perhaps we'll try and change that at the moment. Now, if we go back to M, there might well be a particular station that we can take a look at that might be really interesting for this. Now, let's take a look and see what we have. Let's just clean that up a little bit. Get rid of these. Get rid of that. Good. If you guys have got any questions, pipe up. Just throw them in and I will try and answer them. So there's a few stations that we have that do already conduct espionage. Now, there's a couple that I'm really thinking of that I think might be good. There's a particular spy satellite, and I just wish to Lord I could remember its name. So let's just take a look through the stations. There's a Hirogen Holo station, a Hirogen Com station. I can't remember if that's got any interesting abilities that I might want to use. R ability Spynet, but that only works with other Hirogen Com stations, so I don't think we want to use that. Ooh, I think maybe I'll make that ability a little bit later on because I'm not going to be able to remember it. Let's just have a think. Can anybody remember what that lovely kind of hexagonal station was? It's got lots of hexagonal pieces. Argonaut or something like that. It's a particular... I'm not going to remember, and there's so many things here. Argus! Bloody hell, that was well remembered, wasn't it? So let's take a look at the Argus array and see what it does. It's got the Spynet station as well. Yeah, let's use it. We will use the R ability Spynet station. Now what that's going to allow it to do is it's going to allow it to decide where it's going to spy on. You can just choose a gravity well and it will show you everything in that gravity well on a fairly regular basis. So there we go. That's all I want on there for the time being. I may put extra things on there later. But we've got our station finished. Now the next thing that we need is a frigate spawning state. Well, technically a frigate spawning station. So that's what we're going to do. And... oh no, I've just gone into volume E. I didn't want to do that. Let's go back to my games. Ironclad Games, Sins of Solar Empire Rebellion, 1.85 dev, Nemesis. Alright, we're back. Let's go K. And we'll find their station again. We'll copy that. Oh, it did. In fact, I had the same ability. Hydroxide's just let me know that it did have the same ability. We did plan to make a network, if you like, of Hirogen connected stations, and it would show you everything around them. But clearly that's not the case anymore. Perhaps we just didn't finish it. But let's get the station, which was the frigate yard. So let's copy it. Pop it in here. Paste, 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 paste. And let's rename it to Nem Nem station. We'll call it the drone spawner, because that way we'll know what it is, and that tends to help, doesn't it? Okay, so here's the drone spawner. One thing, I'm going to cheat and just Control-C that, because I don't want to be messing around with the name and the description string ID. So what we're doing is here, we're just giving it a new name. Name and description. Excellent. But right now it thinks it's a ship factory. We've got to change that. So let's pop over here. We're going to call it a planet module standard. Now the reason we're going to do that is because we don't want it to be able to build ships in the normal fashion. They're going to have to be built via abilities. That's okay. We don't mind that. It's got all the right sounds. It doesn't have enough hull. We know it doesn't have enough hull. By virtue of the fact that it would just be far too easy to capture otherwise. So let's make its let's make that about 45 as well. Yeah, that looks pretty tasty. And we'll up its armor points to 9. Might even need to be more with a bit of testing. There we are. Yes, your Klingon shockwave plan is blown out of the water. There may be ways around that, and I'll let you have a think about different ways that might help you in that regard. Perhaps a cloaked ship or a cloaked titan would work out. Perhaps if you have an ally or you've made friends with somebody, you can suggest to them that they can bring their titan in. It can be targeted, destroyed while you rush the shockwave towards the enemy. There are a lot of different tactics that you might want to use. Some of them are going to involve working with others. Some of them you're going to be able to do it by yourself. Right, we've got a stat count type and a planet module role type here. We're going to have to change those, so we're going to just simply change them to culture. We're very aware that they're not culture centers, but they don't actually have to give any culture out. So there we go. And I think we're almost done here. We do need the station capture on this as well, of course. So let's put it on. In fact, that's going to be... We're going to leave it in segment 3 for the moment, but we're probably going to move it to segment 4. Now, we have our drone spawner technically finished. We don't have any drones, though. So... there have been some recent abilities that have been created that allow certain new ships to be spawned in. I'm sure Bane has already spoken about this, but let's go to C. And there should be a fairly new station. Let's see what he's called it. I don't know what he's called it, but there's a new station for the Cardassians and Dominion, which hopefully will be a little bit of fun if we can find it. Card Frig. What's he called it? Perhaps he hasn't given it what I expected. It's not going to be Fleet Command. Sea Station Domfrig? Let's see what it is. Okay, I think this might actually be something that I made a long time ago, so let's ignore that. If there's a card frig as well, yes. I made these a long time ago and we don't use it. But this is effectively what it's going to do. It's going to spawn various different ships, so let's get rid of that. That's not what we needed. It's technically not Cardassian Pew Pew. No, it's not. It's something a little bit different. Has he called it C and... Oh, no, he hasn't called it D, has he? No, he hasn't. Okay, oh, that's good. I'm not going to be able to find this station. He's probably called it something really obvious and I can't work out what it is. Do we think it might be Orbital Command? Nope. Space Mine, Trade Refinery. Maybe he hasn't put it in yet. That's equally possible. Well, let's take a look at the abilities. See if they're... Hey, Viking Warrior, how you doing? So many abilities. Oh, that would be a comment on YouTube. Draconian Gaming, love you, man. Can't look at that right now. Let's see if there is a new ability. I mean, I presume it would be something like Spawn. There's the Spawn heroes. Spawn Scarab, Spawn Corinas. No, I don't think he has put it in yet. Well, that's okay. Let's just take a look at the Spawn Scarab ability. So you can see what it's supposed to do is spawn ships at planet. That's not what we want to do, technically. We want it to be at first spawner, so we'll need to do a slightly different ability for that. We'll do that a little bit later because it'll take me ages to do and try and remember all of this. But we've got the 2 stations that we want to spawn in the correct gravity. Oh. Anybody want to play Sins for Solar Empire Rebellion? You figured out why your computer's crashing. Okay, what's going on with it? So we've got our new stations. Let's copy them and let's paste them into the game info. That's great. They're in the game info, but they're not doing anything right now. The game doesn't know they're there even. So we need to put them in the entity manifest here. Oh, he has, look. Nem Kessock Hybrid Summon. Oh, look. Okay, we'll do that in a bit. So let's just... Now that we know what those is, actually making those abilities is going to be a little bit easier. So, we need to put both of these into the entity manifest. That was nice and easy, wasn't it? But we need to change this to 5193 because we've added 2 new things. There they are. So the entity manifest has now been updated with them. It's known. It is known what they are. What haven't we done so far? Well, we haven't defined them in the strings. We should probably have a look at that. So, let's take this name and desk, and we're going to need to copy it twice. We'll start once, and now, let's get rid of the manifest. Get rid of that drone spawner for the moment. Here's our espionage station, and here is our name and description. So we pop that in there. Pop that in there. And now it has a name and description. So what's this one going to be called? This is the espionage station. Let's just go with a random description. It'll be fun. There we go. Bane will disapprove of this, but there we go. To kill your enemy, you must know where he is. With this station, we shall send them to Grethor. Great. Let's get rid of that, and let's grab the drone spawner and make this for him as well. That's why I'm happy to see a stream like this, so people actually can see how the developers and mods work, and have a bigger... Oh god, I don't know if you'll respect me more. It might not work. I might do it totally wrong. That's something that always terrifies me when I do streams like this, because I haven't tested it. I don't know if what I'm doing is going to work. It's always possible that it won't. There we go. Good enough. Now we've added 4 new string infos, and that means we need to change this segment up here. Always think about that. There is a quick way that you can check string info. So if we just highlight one of them in green like that, do Control F, match case and match whole word only and wrap around, and do count, you can see that it's now got 12242. That's the number that this should be. Let's ratify that against what we know. It's now got 12238. That would add another 4 for 42. Correct. Great. So that is the way that it should work. We've only got 2 more strings than you do. Well, we actually got rid of most of our stock strings. Like, you'll find that most of the stuff down here, except for like research modifiers and research floats, etc., we got rid of most of them. So it's something that we always tend to do. Right, so there we are. They now have names and descriptions in the string folder. They're in the entity manifest, so they do exist in all ways now. But we haven't put them into the map. So let's press G and find the galaxy scenario def. Now this is where we're going to go wrong, ladies and gentlemen. It's where I always go wrong. So we know from earlier that if we just type in nem, take match case and whole world only off, we'll be able to find various bits. Oh look, the Nemesis base. TFF, well, Nemesis. We know that's important, so let's find it. And then we've got the... Oh, sugar. We're going to have to go back to find next. Shouldn't take us long. And the default template for this is template Nemesis. Find next. And here is the segment that we need. This is the Nemesis base template. So let's take a look at the Nemesis base itself. It's only got 1 item in there right now. So let's take a look. What does it look like? Planet item type, design name, and then the item name itself. We're going to have to make 2 more of those. So perhaps we should do that. So let's make 1, 2. There you go. We've now got 2 more of these. And they are going to be TFF Nemesis, which is nice. 1 is going to be espionage station. And 1 is, of course, going to be drone station. Close enough. And we've got the drone spawner here, which is going to go right there. And the espionage station, God, I hope this works, which is going to go... Is that the one? Espionage station? Yes. Planet item type count, we've put 2 more in, so let's move that up to 513. Save. Now let's find Nemesis base again. Great. So, here there is only 1 item that is spawning. We need to change that for 2 more items. 1, 2. Change the items to 3. Okay, fantastic. So, I believe we had drone station. Let's just make sure. Yeah, and espionage station. Espionage station is all one word with a capital F. Let's go down here. There's our drone station, and this one is called espionage station. There you go. It wants to autofill it for me. Excellent. So theoretically, all of our stations should be there now. I imagine it is quite similar. I think a lot of mods have come up with quite similar naming schemes. So there we go. Theoretically, as well as the Nemesis base, the drone station and the espionage station are now going to spawn when we open the map up. But the proof, as they say, is in the pudding. I think at the moment I do have the developer mode active for... Yes, I do. For Nemesis. So, is this going to work? The probability is no. but I want it to very badly because it will make me feel very good about whether I can still code. It's been a long time since I've actually done any serious coding. No crashes yet. That is, yeah, that's quite positive. Okay, so let's go single player. There's the Nemesis map. Let's play. Don't matter who we're playing as. Oh, it looks like with a Borg. Now, the lovely thing about playing with errors on in this particular game means I'll be able to detect any errors as they happen. There should be 2 little errors that come up as we're going. Now, these errors are actually intentional errors. They're what we call AI-only research. And what these errors will tell us is that there's no way a human player could click on them. If I've done everything right. Fingers, legs, arms, testicles, everything. It's all crossed. This is what we call the light stream overlay, Outer Exodus. We found that the mainstream overlay, sometimes it got a little bit too big, so we've reduced it in size a little bit. Also, hi Outer Exodus. How you doing, buddy? Okay, so here we go. This says B Research AI Speed Build. That is an anticipated error. And Speed Build 2, I think there might be a Speed Build 3. No, there isn't. We're loading in. There have been no crashes yet, which is exciting. I know. I'm aware that I'm blocking stuff on the screen, but for coding time, it's okay. Let's just very, very quickly go to sound, turn the music volume off. Great. So there'll be no crashes in loading in. That's potentially a very good thing. Let's go... Now, the way that you get this developer menu up in the Developer XE is Control, Shift, and period, or dot, at the same time. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that we can see everything. So we'll go A to change galaxy, B for overrides, and then A for all entities detected. Now, we know that the base is over here.
We serve the collective.
Oh, hello. That's really close to the Nemesis drone station. That's highly unfortunate. But the simple fact of the matter is the Nemesis espionage station, which sadly it looks like it's actually coming outside the bounding box. I don't like that, but there we are. And also the Nemesis drone station, they exist. That's great stuff. But do they work as capturables? We're going to have to find out, aren't we? So let's go change galaxies, spawn entity, active player, and capital ship. Don't suppose it really matters who we do. So let's go with a nice couple of Borg tactical cubes.
State objective.
Think 5 will be enough.
Activate all alcos.
We'll find out.
Negotiation is irrelevant. By your command. State objective. By your command. By your
Lovely.
command.
So, we don't know if this is going to be enough to take the station down. I'm just going to let this happen, to be honest.
Relocate to grid.
I don't think it is going to be enough. We can see that the station is not taking a great deal of damage right now. But this little one down here is. Which is one of the things that we wanted to check. And, of course, this one is too. So if they get down to 30% health... A busty coder. If they get down to 30% health and they become capturable, then... Yes, that'll be a good thing. Maybe we just get a little bit more firepower on the go. Let's get a couple of Herodians in, shall we? Yeah. Well, we haven't done that right. Let's just have a few Nausicaan vessels. Autosave.
My life for the Empire.
Go for the station. It's losing a bit of health now. You can see it's triggered its first ability.
Assimilate this vessel.
Assimilate that vessel. Let's go for a graviton flux field.
It's more brave to live.
Some engineering teams. Singularity projector. My God.
Empire.
Boarding. More engineering teams.
We have the superior firepower. 'Tis
Anything
more
that keeps
brave
them
to
alive.
live than to die.
Shut up, Romulan.
Negotiation is irrelevant.
Right. Oh, it looks like some of the enemy ships have spawned. Let's just hope that our cubes, etc., are going to be enough to deal with that. Now, one thing that I could do, which would probably
I'm not just
massively
any
help.
Cardassian.
CNK Commander, thank you so much for following the stream. We're just going to speed things up and see if it does indeed win. These poor cubes are actually not having too hard a time of it. But then this is a lot of power that is arrayed against the enemy. A lot of power indeed. Yep, you can see that they do still spawn. These ships do still spawn when it becomes damaged. Whoa! Autosave 3, and also we've just lost attack cube. We can see just how powerful and dangerous this station is. It's not going to win. Or I should say that we're not going to win. So let's spawn a few more entities in. Let's go active player. Let's go with some capital ships. Whoa! There goes another one. Autosave 4. Let's slow the game down. Slow the game down. Slow the game down. Spawn entity. What were we trying to do? Active player. We want some capital ships. Let's go with some trusty Cardassian capital ships. And loads of them. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H.
How may I serve the founders?
Lead us.
There we go. Lots of Cardi vessels. Cardi and Dom vessels. Oh, look, we've got those healing of things. We've got to sort them. Failed to find string ID on something.
Must die.
Founders must die? Who said that? So what we're going to quickly try and do is destroy those Burrell classes before they restore it too much. It looks like both of these are going to go down. It appears that we need more ships. Not a problem, ladies and gentlemen. We can do that. Let's get some Cardassian frigates in. And what do we need? What are the most magnificent vessels? I think let's go...
Sir, standing by. Sir, all decks stand
My. Kessock hybrids.
By your command. Instructions received.
Oh, God. Capital ship open management materials. This is having a whinge now because we have additional, good God, abilities over some of the capital ships in slot 4.
Awaiting your command. The founder's will shall be done.
Finish that station. The hybrids will do it. Everything will be fine. Probably. Wow, look at those. Look at the damage being done to a fleet. It's terrifying, isn't it? It's not going to be enough. Let's mash all the buttons. I need an orbit body in order to spawn the frigate. Let's select this.
all stations ready. Standing by.
For the Union.
Time is wasted.
I think that'll be enough.
Standing by.
Oh, hey, Commander. Nice to see you here. The Nemesis station is down, ladies and gentlemen. And if we have any capital ships left, which we don't, you would have seen that
They will not survive.
it would have been lovely. But the thing that we need to check is, oh, look, it can be captured. Fantastic. And
Get us
let's
there.
also give this one a whack. we probably should now go with spawn entity, active player, frigate. We'll go for Federation because I know what that one is, and H for the curry. Hello. Now we've got something called an assault team and we've got an away team. We are going to go for the away team and capture this station. That ball of death is a ball of death. You joined a modding team for EA, for Empire at War. What modding team is it, buddy? Those bloody barrels have healed that station.
Sir?
Those shower of bastards. They've healed the station and now it's not capturable again. Oh, those assholes. So that shows what can happen. So we need to finish those barrels off. Where are they? Can't be many of them left, can there?
Fire at will. Crush them.
Oh, looks like we have a nice Borgified curry class here.
Crew standing by.
Oh, we do own this. Look. Yes, so we did manage to capture this and also the Nemesis espionage station. So this is everything that we wanted. Sadly, we've done all entities detected, but the Imperial Spy Network would now allow us to spy on any world that we chose to. And that will give us a distinct tactical advantage. It is mine already, Outer Exodus. I'm sorry, I missed that. But there we are. So the two stations did work. I think what we are going to do is we're going to quit the game and then reload the map and see if the stations spawn in the same position again, or if they spawn a little more randomly. So let's go play. Again, doesn't matter who we are. Klingons this time. Klingon speed build 2, and we're in. Bendak Starkiller is down, the mysterious stranger. That's so good. You can see they do spawn in fairly similar positions quite close to the station. Do I want them to be further away? I'm not sure, in honesty. I mean, in some ways it would be nice for these stations to be further away, but also at the same time it does mean that you've got to engage the NEM station in order for these things to become yours. What's better? I don't know. I'll leave them as they are.
Get to work.
All right, Klingons, settle down. I'll leave them as they are for the time being, and if it is decided that we would prefer them to be further away, there are other ways that I can handle that spawn. I could spawn a ship in, have it repel from everything, and then set up the station. That's something that that Corey suggested if I wanted them far away, but right now I'm relatively happy with that. Good. So those stations now work. Fantastic. Let's come out of the game. So what else do we need to do? We've still got a fair amount to do. One of the things that we wanted to do, we can come out of this, we can come out of the Galaxy Scenario Def, won't be needing that anymore, thank cripes, is we'll go into game info. Back to being a Bajoran. I'm never a Bajoran, my friend. Is if we click on an N for NEM, we're now going to be able to find the ability is hopefully there's going to be some kind of spawn. Nem Kesok Heavy Summon Entity. That is not the way that we do things. It doesn't say ability at the start. I'm very sad. So we'll take a look at the Kesok Heavy Summon. This spawns ships at a planet, which is not really what I want. Is there a buff instant action type that's... See, what we want to do is we want to spawn ships at first spawner. So we're probably going to have to change this a little bit. Yes, we are. Yes, we are indeed. So the way that we can do that is... now, what I always do when I'm making abilities, when I'm making anything, in fact, is I will look at pre-existing abilities. Now, one thing that we do know is there are various ships that spawn at the station, aren't there? So, what can they particular be? We have Nem Buff Attack Drone. So let's take a look at this. Create frigate on delay. The delay time is 0 here. And here is this. Number of frigates. It's only going to be 1 in my case. Match owner damage state. False. Yes, that's fine. And the way that we can actually produce these... Hey, King Scorpion, how are you doing? Do you know, I haven't checked out that series yet, and I do apologise for that. We're going to copy this attack drone. We're going to put it into our working folder. Paste it in there. We also need an ability. So, the best thing that we can do is go Nem ability. Is there a particular thing? Nem ability is conduit power repair drone activate. So let's copy that, paste it in. I realise the repair drone isn't the attack drone, but let's take a look at it and see what it says. So, apply targeted buff to self, which is exactly what we want to do here. Instant action trigger type, always perform. That means do it all the time. Now, we don't necessarily want it to happen all the time, do we? So that's something that will perhaps change. But we can do that in a couple of different ways. We can ask when it wants to do it. There's also a cost that we can use here. Now, the AI used cost type needs to be something different, and it needs to be materials. So we can actually refer back to the Kessock Heavy Summon. You can see here there's an use cost type, resources and must have ship slots. So let's grab this. We can use that, no problem whatsoever. And let's shove it in there. Now there's an AI use time here as well. So what kind of use time do we want? It does need to be a fixed level 0. AI use time is actually going to be invalid. Now the reason that it's going to be invalid is because we don't want it to do anything. So I don't think we actually need anything in there. AI use target condition can stay off. Do we want invalid in there as well? Can't remember, but we will check that. In fact, should we try and check that? I think it's probably a good idea if we do. So if I grab a new tab, ta-da, here I am, and we look for AI use time, we might actually be able to find something here. Crashes despite LAA, Star Trek Armada 3. Wasn't me. Don't use LAA, guys. Don't use it. It won't work. Now, there used to be a really useful little thing that we could use. You can see my porn sites. There are no porn sites. Look. Look at all that. Speed test. Facebook, Star Trek Armada 3, order takeaways. Yeah, don't look at that. Hide it. And some work things as well. So nothing very interesting. I'm afraid I don't do the whole porny thing. I figure if I can't get it, I don't deserve to see it. That's the way I see things. Right, I think I might struggle here. Is that lava? Of course it is. Yeah, I think I might well struggle, and the reason of that is because there aren't reference files in the same way that they used to be. Aha. So these are constraints for AI use time and AI target condition. We're going to have this one as invalid as well. There we go. I did manage to find that. Let's turn that as invalid. Is autocast available? False. Is autocast on by default? False. So there you go. We've turned all of that kind of stuff off. Ignore non-combat ships for cast target. Must have resources, must have ship slots. The resource cost I don't know about yet. I'm not going to balance it. Don't need research prerequisites. Hunter x Hunter. Is that a pornography site? I'll, okay. I have an idea to shoot it down if you want. How about having a community have a competition designership to fill out certain categories? These categories could be Nemesis station drones, new pirate ships, new station for neutrals, possibly even do the audio files for them. They would of course have to provide a 3D model for said ships. Now, the 3D model isn't actually all of it, sadly. Now the target filter just has to be self. Because it's applied targeted buff to self. Have I just changed a bunch of stuff in here? I hope that one's in here. Let's just check. It is. It's fine. It's fine. No, nobody worry. Nobody worry. Right, target filter. Joe, I don't think I need to worry about the target filter because it only works on self anyway. So let's just turn all these off. I don't know why it's got a range even. Doesn't need an effect. Well, since we were just talking about porn sites and somebody said I would recommend Hunter x Hunter though, I made the bridge rather unsurprisingly. Maybe he does incognito. What's incognito? Pepe, tell me what incognito is. It needs to face target false. Can collide with target. No, technically true. Move through target false. Is ultimate ability false. Fixed level 0. Yeah. Yakety schmackety. So, this needs to be a different type of buff. So what's the buff going to be called? Nem buff spawn spawn attack drone, I suppose. Yeah, why not? Yes, I think that'll do. Spawn attack drone. Now we've got the... It is in the new folder. Good God. So we're going to call this Nem ability... Spawn. Did I say repair drone or attack drone? Attack drone. Haha. And then we've got the Nem buff attack drone anyway. So let's just take a look and see what this does. On delay, okay, the delay time here is going to be 40 seconds. Number of frigates, it's just going to be one. It's going to be one frigate no matter what. Okay. False. Impulse means it gets blasted away from the station it's at. I don't think we need much impulse, so we're just going to give it 500, I think. I think that should be enough. And I think we only need about 5 seconds of impulse for each one. May or may not work. Okay. So there we are, and that's done when all on delay instant actions are done. Let's save it, but we do need to change its name, as we know. So let's ability spawn attack drone. We'll open this one back up, and this is the one that we want. Nem buff spawn attack drone. There we go. And we have these two new buffs, or we have this ability and this buff. So let's grab them, copy them, and we're basically going to replicate what we did last time. Open up your browser and press Control, Shift, and N. It allows you to browse privately. Well, why would you want to browse privately? What am I lots of umming to? I've got to check this, ladies and gentlemen. Oh yes, it's this evening's interview with the New Horizons developer.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to GB Game.
All right, Bane, settle down. I'll watch that a little bit later on. So we've got the Nem ability and the Nem buff in, as we always have to do. What we're now going to have to do is put them in the entity manifest. I bet this one doesn't work. No, don't reload. So let's do so. I haven't actually made the strings for these yet. Hopefully he'll never know. There we go. And this is now going to go up to 5195. Save. Gee, I really should check. What does the ability actually call itself? There's no name or string ID. Yeah, that's going to come back and bite me in the ass, and there's no HUD icon either. We'll deal with that in a minute. Let's go game info. N for Nem. We've got the Nem station drone spawner. Let's open it up. Now we need to put an ability in. Ability spawn attack drone. Rename it. Put it there. Save. Theoretically, that's technically all we need to do. Technically. But let's make those strings. We'd be absolute fools if we didn't do it. So let's do it. Okay, so the name string ID will be Nem underscore spawn underscore attack drone underscore name. And the description will be, of course, desk. Lovely. HUD icon, the attack drone I think was a Katinga. So, so we don't get confused, let's find the Katinga. I think it's going to be support, is it, Katinga? I don't know. I love this mod, but my own... shush. K support Katinga. Bloody hell, I got something right. Right, we've got the unit picture here. That's not what we need. We need something called BB Katinga, I think. Here we go. HUD icon, BB Klee Katinga. That's specifically what we need. So let's go back to attack drone here and stick those in the HUD icon. That should work. In fact, let's grab that one. Oops. Put those in a small HUD icon. There, fantastic. Because that way they'll show correctly. And I think that's all we need to do with that. We do need to copy that and repaste it in, otherwise it's not going to register. Paste. Replace file. Oh, that's a bit of a shame, Viking. I'm sorry to hear that, Benny. They should supply a like for like, though, I would expect. When it comes to graphics cards, I mean, that's precisely what I would expect them to do. What do you think my chances of this working are? close all but the string. And let's open this one back up because we've just put the ability in here. So that's what it's going to be called, the heavy attack drone. And fantastic, there we go. That's got the 2 new strings, 2, 4, 4. I think we've got everything in there now. I think. Sod it, let's have a go. And if an error pops up, I can actually show you how we track down these errors. So if I have done it wrong, it'll be a learning experience for all involved. Like that. So let's see what this says. It doesn't like Nem ability spawn attack drone, and the reason is because on line number 7 there's something called a number of objects, and it in fact has a number of constraints. Let's see if we can fix that. It's almost like I planned that, isn't it? I didn't. So Nem, let's just check what it is. Ability spawn attack drone. Here it is. So on line number 7, right here, that in the target filter, it is under the impression that there should be num objects in there. And I think I know what I've done. This actually needs to be right here, like so. It's going to be 1. Ah, no! 1. And I think it's object. Oh shit, I wish I could remember any of this. Tell you what, should we just refer to the original one? Nem Solar Battleship Summon. Oh, sadly, that's quite different, isn't it? So, come on, where are you? Repair drone activate. Let's just take a look. Oh yes, I did miss that out, didn't I? You can see there's actually a couple of things that I've not done correctly here. But there you go. Object. Num objects, object. Object. Like so. And that's going to be self. I think. So what we now have to do is we now have to skip all of this jargon, exit and then come back in to see if we fixed it. And exit. Come back in, see if the error has fixed itself. If it hasn't, then we'll go back in, we'll make another change. What doesn't it like now? What don't you like now? Or is it, does it want to be num ownerships? Or perhaps it does. Oh, and there's a num object that I'm missing as well, you can see. So let's go back. No ownerships. 1. Ownership can be friendly, that's fine. Self. Num spaces? What the bloody hell's this? Fuck it, let's hope that's not anything. Got some custom player icons in SGI. Nice, I like it. This is the nice thing about having errors on. You can actually work out what your errors are incredibly quickly. And fix them as you go. I think I've still made an error here. I think I might need a num spaces in here. That'll teach me to delete. Failed to convert self. See, num spaces. I bloody knew it. So that comes under num objects, doesn't it? Yes, it does. And it doesn't like self. It's going to be planet module. So we'll do that. Planet module, num spaces. I don't think that really matters. But we'll go for normal space because it is indeed a normal space. There you go. Skip all. Where would you actually find, particularly Azuran, but more so Wraith? Where would you find their iconography? I mean, they clearly have lettering of some form, because I do remember it being quite jagged and almost runic, broken runic. Hey, guy who just subbed, how's things this evening? Oh, what do you not want now? Really? Well, what have I done wrong here? Surely that's not possible. Hang on, is that a different thing? Ability spawn attack drone? No, no. I've done something bad here. It thinks num can... Huh. Should num ownerships be under... Oh, num ownerships is already done. I'm such a pillock. I'm such a pillock. Told you it'd been a while since I'd done any of this, didn't I? I've just joined up with your XCOM force. Am I the sacrificial lamb? That seems to be my usual function. I'm feeling quietly confident now. I'm not. I'm the PSYOP, cool. That looks very hopeful. I may have made it work. Alright then, so let's go change maps, Nemesis, play, doesn't matter who I am, I'm the Cardassians, magnificent. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is coding for Sins mods. You like it? Is it something that you feel that you would ever enjoy doing? Coding 101, we have broken things. Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what coding is and what it's always going to be. I'm very, very dark, aren't I? doesn't help much. Speed build no, speed build no. It seems interesting to you, but you don't know how to do it. Well, you should have learned everything that you possibly need to know from me by now. Ish. Okay. We have spawned. Maybe Now, fingers crossed this isn't going to be spawning shit. Doesn't look to be. So that's probably good. We're going to need to destroy this stupid thing. So let's go with spawn entity, active player, me. Let's go for capital ships.
We are yours to command.
Shush now. I think let's have some nice Romulans in there. And let's build all the Javaras in the world.
Pride of the Empire at your command.
That should be enough.
Pride of the Empire at your command.
Oh my god. It's not enjoying this.
We are yours to command.
It's already taken a fair amount of punishment, actually. I mean, I could give these more abilities, but tactical assault mode. Let's give you whatever that is. Let's give you number 3.
None can hope to match us.
I don't really want you to activate your cloak. That would actually be no good.
Whom are they to stand against the will of Romulus? Pride of the Empire at your command. None can hope to match us.
None can hope to match us.
Pride of the Empire at your command.
Do you know what?
Whom are
No more.
they to stand against the will of Romulus?
I can see ships are actually being destroyed.
Who are they to stand against the will of Romulus? Pride of the Empire at your command. Pride of the Empire at your command.
Well.
None can hope to match us.
It's healing faster than it's being destroyed, I think.
None can hope to match us.
And my ships are really being destroyed quickly. Ah, autosave! Ah, the death of men!
None can hope to match us.
Come on, guys, kill faster. You need to kill betterer. It is going down, but then so are all of these Look at these Romulan ships getting wrecked.
Target that pathetic excuse for a vessel and destroy it. Pride of the Empire at your command.
Warbird reporting. Warbird reporting.
There!
Pride
Fuck in
of the
there!
Empire at your command.
Oh god, that's horrible. It's so horrifying. So many warbirds, so little time. Ah, the hell with the Brails. They'll do this by themselves. There's so many ships being destroyed.
Destroy that target.
Oh.
It shall be done.
How may I serve? How may I serve?
So many vessels now.
Warbird reporting.
Nothing could stand against this. Surely. The effect coming from the station's really cool. It's really nice from up high as well. Wanted to give players something nice to look at. Alright, looks like it's died because everything has got to level 9 or 10. Yeah, 9. My god. Right, we'll let this battle rage on for a moment or two. Looks like all of these Klingon ships are just going upwards. Excuse me? I really should do individual targeting, but I'm just enjoying them, watching them try and kill each other too much.
Leave nothing.
Go on then, let's get some targeting done properly.
Destroy them.
Oh. Shaq's criticising, correctly so. That's something I'll have to take a look at. Is that right, hydroxide?
What is the request? Leave nothing remaining. Destroy them.
This is taking ages. Oh, shut up, Math Vector.
What is the request?
Right, it looks like we're finally getting somewhere now. Planet's being destroyed, Nemesis drone station. Right, there we go, it's now capturable. Let's settle down. Let's spawn an entity. Active player, frigates, Federation, and carry.
All crew stand ready. Crew standing by.
There you go, you've decided to capture it. Today will be good though. There you go, it's ours. We must have available ship slots. It does cost money. So what we're actually now going to do is...
Self-destruct sequence initiated.
In fact, we're going to cheat on this as well. If we go back, go to overrides, there should be... set up quick play. These things will just destroy themselves immediately.
Self-destruct sequence initiated.
How may I serve?
Self-destruct cancelled. Self-destruct sequence initiated. Self-destruct sequence.
We have enough to, fingers crossed, build one of these now.
I cannot comply.
This has been disabled by another entity's ability. I wonder what that is. Have I done bad? It's because the station is still invulnerable at the moment. You can heal
All
things,
crew
can't you?
stand ready.
Let's get some healers in. Autosave. Okay, so let's spawn entity, active player, frigate. What can heal stuff? Federation. Can't remember. Ah.
All sections on standby. All sections on standby.
Tell me that you can heal. So what is it you think you're healing? You're just healing each other. Useless. Fine, we've got to do this the hard way.
Prepare the colonists. Prep all systems.
I cannot comply. Our troops have occupied a new world.
Our troops have occupied a new world, don't you know? And of course by virtue of the fact that we haven't got enough research centres. Ah!
Construction work is complete. Construction work is complete.
I hate my voice so much!
Complete.
Let's get a maintenance dock or two.
Construction work is complete. Construction work is complete.
Right, here we go. It's now repairing, so once it gets above a certain threshold, it should be fine. It should work now. If it doesn't, I'll be sad. Now we can actually spawn it on self. That's the only person we can spawn it on. There is a delay of something like 40 seconds. Did I set it to?
Prep all systems.
Did it just destroy itself?
Our fleet has arrived.
It just destroyed itself. Why did it just destroy itself? There's no reason for it to do that. Where's the ship? What have you got on you that makes you kill yourself? Why do you do that? I've got no idea why it does that. Wow, there's uncap. There's K ability detect cloak beacon. Angular thrust. I think it must be uncap. So let's work out what uncap is. Well, that just makes it unboardable. That shouldn't be an issue whatsoever. What's Havoc then? K ability Havoc, once again, it shouldn't make a difference. There's no reason for it to destroy itself like that. What have I done? I think it must have been. This might actually be something that I need to go and have a think about. Let's take a look at the buff. Shouldn't be any problem there. It's creating a standard frigate. Shouldn't be a problem. Maybe it's this expiry time. I'll see you later, Sanis. I think it might be the expiry time.
Cardassian.
Caltaro LP, thank you so much for following the stream. Yeah, I think it might well be the expiry time. Yeah. Let's not give it an expiry time. One more try, ladies and gentlemen. Oh no, it wants an expiry time. So if you absolutely have to have an expiry time, why don't we just give you 0? Okay. I have to reload that, I'm afraid. Yeah, the expiry time of 5 probably made sense for it to come out and then kill itself almost immediately, so that does stand to reason, doesn't it? That does stand to reason. Do you know what we might be able to do that makes life a little bit easier for us? So we know what the station is, so let's go to the galaxy scenario def, and we go Nem, find next. And we know it's the TFF Nemesis drone station. We'll grab that, go home. Let's click home world. Now what we're trying to do here is find this. Now this particular thing here is what defines what you get in your quick start world. So let's pop that in there. Grab this. Now we have to remember that this is Romulan, okay? Stick that there. Stick that there. It's now 11 items. We'll save. So we're automatically going to have one as long as we spawn as the Romulans right at the start of the match. So we can test that hypothesis without having to go through the whole rigmarole of destroying that bloody station again. Eh? Eh? That's thinking outside the Romulan box. So let's do a CTA tiny. We are of course going to be Romulan. Game options. We want quick start to be on. Quick start, yes. And start. Eh? Yes, I did, Pepe. Romulans love the box. They are the superior race. If this thing destroys itself as soon as it spawns, I am literally going to shit myself and smear it on the... No, I'm not. I'm not. We're gonna start anytime soon, Roman? There we are. Speed build. Activate the photonic cannon. Let's see where we've hidden it. Over here! I don't like the fact that you've got to point it to yourself. I'll have to change that perhaps a little bit later on. It's a shame it doesn't show you an effect of it building it here, but... You know, do you know what? I'm but a simple man. I'm a humble servant of the dark arts. As soon as this cooldown gets to the bottom, it should pop out, and we'll see if it instantly explodes or not. When I were a lad, -1. -1 meant forever when I was a kid. That's right, you little slut! Ah, you bitch!
Faster.
Magnificent! You permanent little sausage, you!
Go there.
Go there, indeed. Maybe we should give them like boopity boop sounds as their drones. Give them like R2D2 sounds just to be converse. Boopity boop boopy boop 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 boop. Boop 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 boop. I think we should do that.
Faster.
Hey, Timmy boy.
Our ships have arrived. Woman.
Woman.
They're all disruptors.
I always wanted to get these in game. These Promelian vessels. It'd be so cool if we did. I mean, we've clearly got a working model of them. It's just such a shame that we never put them in game as capturables or something. Hey. Wreak havoc! And let slip the dogs of war.
I'm not just any Cardassian.
You want to make some boobity boop noises, Hydroxide? Well, we'll ask Bane about that, because I probably shouldn't put random shite in the game without him telling me to. So, it works. We now have an attack drone that spawns correctly. That's great stuff. That is, yeah, finally done. Now, one thing I did want to check is the actual attack drone. What kind of fleet count does it have? I presume it's quite low, which could be a bit of a concern. Slot count's 8. Could probably do with being a little bit longer. It's got a 30-second build time currently. I know it says 34 here, but because it's not building in a traditional sense, that doesn't actually make any difference. 80 experience points for destroying. I think that's probably fair. Hull points, max shield points, yeah, all fine. Yeah, I think we're there. The R2-D2 noise would definitely trigger the Trekkies. I think we should do it. It's more than likely that we're going to move the slot count up. Let's take a look at the Kvek, because this is technically stronger than a Kvek. So it might be worth us just taking a look at the Kvek. Christ, what's it going to be called? K Cruiser Kvek, possibly? I've gone too far. You always go too far. K Cruiser Kvek. The slot count on one of those is 15. So the number, the attack drone. What do you reckon, guys? 15, 20, maybe 20. Yeah. I think 20 is a good thing for that. The base price is actually immaterial here again, as we say, because the price itself is actually from the ability, which I don't actually have in here anymore. But yeah, that's what it's from. It'd be this. You betrayed your uniform! I often betray my uniform. I'm Cardassian. So let's go N for Nem. Nem ability spawn spawn attractive drone. I think this is easily worth 1,000 credits, 200 metal, and 170 crystal. And we've already agreed that it is worth 20 ship slots. Let's just make all these changes while we can. I imagine that it's going to get rebalanced. Okay, because we're spawning on delay, and we know the delay is currently 30, I believe. Oh, delay 40. Actually, that makes more sense. So let's change all of... Where do we put it? It's somewhere... It's this one. Let's change all of these to 40 as well. So put 40 in there for the cooldown time. Save. There you go. It's done. So the attack drone is done. We will be doing the repair drone as well. But the repair drone I do want to change up a little bit, and I want to speak with Bane about that. Right now it can only repair stations. It can't repair other ships. But why would it not be able to repair other ships if you can build it? Gives you a little bit of an extra avenue of possibility. I think that's probably all about time. All about we've got time for. I hope you've enjoyed yourselves. I've enjoyed doing this. If you want to see me doing more coding and more of this kind of stuff, then let me know. And I'll be more than happy to take that into account and do it more often. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. This is the goal. Out.